Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd Podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on in, shall we? Starting with our game news topic of the day. And our first game news topic of the day is as follows. This looks like we have some updates about The Last of Us Part 3 from Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann teases possible Last of Us Part 3, says studio has explored ideas. Let's go ahead and read more details here. While The Last of Us Part 3 hasn't been formally announced, Druckmann revealed that Naughty Dog explores ideas for a third game immediately after finishing Part 2. The studio chose to prioritize the upcoming title in Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, but Druckmann hinted that other concepts, including a potential Part 3, remains on the table. With the HBO series renewed for a third season and both Part 1 and Part 2 topping Amazon's PS5 charts, fans demand a continuation of Ellie's story, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I think this is good news. I'm a big fan of The Last of Us, and hopefully that whatever idea they have for a third game continues. While not a lot of people were fans of what happened with The Last of Us Part 2, at the end of the day, it was very profitable, and with the show continuing its story, it's even more profitable now with the secondary market like film and TV shows coming from HBO. So this story is just going to continue to thrive. Depending on how the next season of The Last of Us does, after what's happened with the previous season, I don't want to spoil anything, but after what's happened in the most recent season, depending on how the next season does, if it's still successful, I think that'll definitely lead the studio towards producing a Last of Us Part 3. Even though that's probably still going to be a couple years off, we won't be getting that for another maybe 5 years. So we're looking at like 2030, maybe, depending on how long the production process is for that and the storytelling and things of that sort. So don't expect The Last of Us Part 3 for quite some time, but know that it's still on the table, which is nice to hear. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. I do feel like Sony has milked this franchise quite a bit with a lot of the remakes and stuff like that, but it's such an amazing story and people love it, so it makes sense that they would push for it so much. But let me know what you guys think. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next movie news, game news topic of the day, and it's continuing with Neil Druckmann. Neil Druckmann details gameplay, casting of Naughty Dog's sci-fi epic, the Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. This comes to us from Game Informer, which I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer, but we had a little bit of a hint of. It's more of a cinematic trailer. We got a little bit of a glimpse of what the gameplay may look like. I'll go ahead and play this while I read you guys the details. Sadly, I can't play the whole trailer with the audio because YouTube, again, bit of a bitch. But let's go ahead and read some of the details from this article. Intergalactic blends third person traversal with choice based dialogue and faction alignment. Set across multiple alien worlds with. Oh, sorry. I got distracted by the video. Anyways, set across multiple alien worlds with shifting political alliances and moral ambiguity. Let's see. The game features performances from Florence Pugh, Diego Luna, and Riz Ahmed, with Druckmann emphasizing emotional realism and motion capture fidelity in character interactions. Built on Naughty Dog's upgraded engine, the game retains cinematic pacing and grounded combat from The Last of Us, while introducing zero gravity mechanics and alien tech based puzzles. So essentially, the gameplay is going to be similar to The Last of Us with some upgraded stuff and some new things going on regarding like zero gravity and stuff like that, which sounds very interesting. As far as I'm not a big fan of decision based dialogue because I know a lot of people enjoy having to make their own decisions where the character is going to go and stuff like that. Like a big example of that would be Mass Effect, which is a very phenomenal game. My problem with choice based dialogue is if they do a sequel or if they continue the story, what's canon? What did happen? What didn't happen? And that's where I kind of get a little. I mean, it's dumb for me to feel this way, but that's when I kind of get a little. It's not a proper story being told as far as I'm concerned. But I do think this is very interesting what they have going on for this game. I'm very interested in seeing what's happening. for this game. Let's go ahead and jump ahead in this trailer. My apologies, guys, and so you guys could see this little combat system right here. So it looks like it's a little more similar flowing. Think of us like The Last of Us Part 2. I'm sure they changed a little bit of the combat mechanics for this game, but it does look very interesting. And it's going to be nice to check it out. Hopefully, we'll get a gameplay reveal probably sometime in December when the Game Awards is going to be announced. I'm sure we'll get a reveal of gameplay trailer from there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet? Let's go ahead and move over to our next game news topic of the day. Now, before I get started with this topic, I don't really like to get political and talk about things going on in the world. I mainly want to focus on video game and movie news. But when it comes to things like this, things like this affect the video game industry and affects the video game news or movie news, depending on what the story may be. So that's why I'm talking about this today. So I didn't know where to put this into our news segment. I didn't know whether to start with this, put it at the end. So I just put it right in the middle so we can all discuss it. But let's go ahead and take a look here. It looks like Ghost of Yotei developer is reportedly getting fired after a controversial post about the Charlie Kirk assassination. Really sad to see we're living in a world right now where, someone that is, life has been taken away. A lot of people are celebrating something of that sort. Now, I do understand from a certain perspective, like if someone like Hitler were to pass, people would celebrate. If someone like, a very bad leader would pass, I'm sure a lot of people would celebrate. But I don't feel like this man was doing bad things, in my opinion. And sorry if you feel otherwise, but in truth is he didn't harm anybody. He was just stating his opinions, and it's really sad to see that we're in a landscape like this where people are celebrating someone's passing. And with that being said, this person stated the following: Sucker Punch allegedly terminates senior character artist Drew Harson following a Blue Sky post referring to Charlie Kirk assassination with a joke involving Super Mario Brothers characters. So the joke was, I hope Mario knows that his brother Luigi got his back. Or I hope the killer's name is Mario to know that Luigi got his back. Something along those lines. Harrison defended her stance as anti-fascist, stating she would do it again 100 times. Despite backlash, some fans have canceled pre-orders of Ghost Yotei, and but the game remains on track for October 2nd, 2025 release, with Harris expecting to with Harris experiencing continuing to support the game for the development team. Basically, she's have support for the game. I'm a little baffled by what I'm saying here. Here's one of her comments defending what she had posted. If you guys are curious about what the exact post was, I'll bring it up here. So the controversial post that everyone's speaking about is this one. I hope the shooter's name was Mario, so that Luigi knows that his brother got his back. Referring to the Luigi person that shot and killed the gentleman, the CEO of one of the what is it, the insurance companies or whatever the fuck. Anyways, that being said, this is sad because even though everyone has their own opinions and wants to say what they say, what they feel, you're free to speak your mind, and absolutely. But someone in her position or their position, forgive me, if they represent the company as a whole. So if they are posting things like this, a lot of people have stopped pre-ordering for Sucker Punch for the Ghost Yotei. So this will affect the profit for the game and how it does moving forward. I'm sure the game will still be successful regardless of this comment, but seeing as people have already stopped pre-orders and people have already canceling, and a lot of people on social media are messaging to Sony saying that they're not going to be playing this game and stuff like that. It's sad to see something like this happen where your opinions can affect a game and can affect an industry. And with that being said, I believe this person will be let go at some point, and they probably won't be working in the video game industry past this point, because seeing as not only did they stay this comment, but they're also defending that comment and continue to feel the way that they feel, the video game industry will not be supporting someone along this line, and she'll probably have to move on from the industry. It's really sad to see this happen to a game that's going to be released so soon, and it's really sad to see certain comments happen when someone is bashed so soon. But all that being said, I'm sorry if we had to bring this up into this topic, but let's go ahead and move on to a different game news topic, shall we? And moving on to our next game news topic of the day, it looks like Battlefield, uh, the Battle Royale gameplay leak has gameplay leaks have come out, and it's showcasing some vehicle gameplay and some fire range mechanics. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm not going to be able to bring this up full screen, I don't think. It kind of cuts it off here on the left for my screen. But what I'll do is I'll let it play here. This is a little bit of a bigger one. Let me see if I could zoom in for you. Shall I? Whoop, wrong button. There we go. All right, there's good. So we're going to zoom in so you guys could take a look here while I basically describe to you what's going on here. Anyways, 2 users from closed beta share gameplay clips revealing squad dropping in, vehicle combat, traversal across massive maps. The footage highlights the game's brutal battle royale ring mechanics which closes in on deadly force, matching EA's earlier description from yesterday when we had that discussion. Players are seen operating boats, tanks, and transport vehicles, reinforcing EA's emphasis on dynamic mobility and structures in new mode and destruction in the new mode. Forgive me, guys. I'm fucking mumbling because I'm dyslexic as hell. So this is basically the start of the map. We're gonna go ahead and skip forward to this cinematic aspect where we see here, which I think this intro is pretty fun and pretty cinematic. But every game technically has these. And then we have the jump portion where they're gonna parachute in right here. And it looks like, I'm not sure if the game can be switched to third person or if this is just this aspect of the game parachuting in so you can see it. I think I can unmute. There we go. So there's the intro to the game. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this next video clip, which has a lot more going on. Now, I might have to edit this out because of YouTube, so I'll remind you all that this will be all in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. Skipping ahead so you guys could see kind of a little bit of everything. I can't show the whole thing, sadly. Now, mind you, this is, I think, still in beta phase, so these graphics will be upgraded. And I don't even think, yeah, it's at 720p, so it's not the best graphics right now. I think this game is going to be absolutely, like, just from the beta that I got to play, like the open beta, it was so much fun. So to see what they're going to release for this Battle Royale, which I think they're not going to release when the game launches. I think this might release afterwards. It's still awesome. Here we go. There's the green circle right there. I think, wait, is that the ring? Not sure. But But yeah, if you guys are interested in checking out the footage, everything will be in the description down below. You go ahead and take a look at it for yourself. Sorry, we got a little quiet there, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that are being showcased in that clip. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see what they have going on for the Battlefield Battle Royale? Let's go ahead and move on to our last game news topic of the day. And our last game news topic is discussing the September Nintendo Direct that and all the announcements that got announced as of today, this morning. You guys haven't checked it out. Now, mind you, it is a long list of games, so we're not going to be able to cover absolutely everything. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check out the game or the video yourself in YouTube. Go ahead and just look up Nintendo Direct, and we'll go ahead and check that out. But starting with a couple of games, I just have them listed here if you guys are interested. There's a Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario's Brothers, Mario Tennis Fever, Super Mario Galaxy movie got a teased, which we're going to talk about later in our movie news topics. Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Z and A, Pokemon Pokapia. I think I'm Pika-Pee, whatever. Fire Emblem, uh, Kirby Air Riders, Yoshi, Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, and some other games that are going to be converted to the Nintendo Switch 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, Dragon Quest, Monster Hunter. What else is there? There's just all this list. So if you guys are interested in taking a look here, I'll have it up on the screen now so you guys can go ahead and break that down. But other than that, let's look at some of these trailers, which look absolutely phenomenal as far as gameplay and stuff like that. I'm going to have to mute these because, again, oh, wait. I thought these were trailers. Sorry about that, guys. I thought these were trailers. I guess this is IGN stuff. I must have been on a different website when I saw that. No, I wasn't. Okay, yeah. So we got Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 that are gonna be coming to the Switch and the Switch 2, which look really awesome, and I think it's a great opportunity to replay some of these games. You know, that's the one good thing about Nintendo is they keep their exclusives, which is a lot of fun. Here's the Mario Galaxy movie trailer, but we're gonna go ahead and watch that a little later in the video game news. So let's go ahead and move on here. We have the Yoshi game, which kind of reminds me of like a Paper Mario s type thing. It's kind of because like the stop motion aspect of the game, which looks very entertaining and very fun. You know, it's funny. I'm not big on Nintendo games, and I don't know why. But seeing these make me really want to fucking play them, and I don't know why I haven't. And we have here the Virtual Boy physical item that they're going to be, I guess, selling, which looks pretty interesting and pretty fun. It just harkens back to what the games that you used to play on them. Like, look at that. That's just so cool. They're gonna sell this thing so you can play these old classic games in Virtual Boy. Now, I don't think it's a typical VR setup. This looks like more one you put on your table and you stick your head in. So that's kind of a little disappointing there. I was hoping they'd actually do like a VR mask type thing, but I'm sure there'll be third-party materials sold that will put that on your head, no problem. We have here the Pokemon ZA, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which, I mean, just I don't know how Nintendo does it. They just milk these franchises so well, and they make them so damn good. Like you can never complain because they're just so much fun. Even this tennis one looks like a lot of fun. I honestly can't wait to be at the family's house and playing using the sticks and moving and stuff like that. But yeah, there was just so much going on with the announcements for these things. So if you guys want to check them all out, again, I'll have this linked in the description down below if you want to check them all out for yourself. There's a lot of games going on. They even got the Power Washer Simulator that's coming to the Switch too, which I mean, I stupidly enjoyed the Power Washer Simulator game, probably because I got to play with my godson and my best friend a couple times. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Nintendo Direct and what was your most anticipated game and what game got you the most excited coming to coming to the Switch and the Switch. that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our movie news topics of the day. And our first movie news topic of the day is regarding Henry Cavill being injured, which has delayed the Highlander remake production till 2026. Sadly, Cavill sustains an undisclosed. Oh, excuse me, guys, I kicked my camera. Let me adjust that. Uh, there we go. Anyways, Cavill sustains an undisclosed injury during pre-production, forcing the long-awaited Highlander reboot to delay production photography until early 2026. Directed by Chad Stahelski from John Wick, the film features Russell Crowe, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Jaimon Hansu, and with a script by the John Wick 4 writer Michael Finch. Uh, Cavill Cavill's been training extensively for the role and hopes the remake will launch a new franchise based on the 1980s cult classic about immortal warriors. So sad that we have to. I'm happy he didn't get too injured, but it's sad to see that we're gonna probably get a delay for this movie. I still think it'll reach its release date. Let me double check when that is. Highlander, not the 1986 remake. I want the remake. Highlander remake release date. So the release date is currently slated for. They don't have an exact release date, but it's estimated to be in 2027 or 2028. With them moving the production to 2026, we're probably going to be seeing it in late 2027. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully it don't have to be pushed to 2028 or anything like that, but we'll have to wait and see. Sad to see this happen, and I hope Henry Cavill's okay, and I hope it's not a super major injury that he sustained. But we'll have to see what happens. If we get an update on what his injury was, I'll go ahead and update you guys. But let's go ahead and move on to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic is regarding Eli Roth's new venture in his new company, the horror section. And the horror section has inked merch deal with Blackcraft Cult. Now, I know this is not necessarily regarding movies, but I do think it's relevant because what he's doing with a lot of the horror films that he's acquiring, they're going to be able to get a lot of merch for them. So if you guys are interested in some of the movies that he's going to be working on with the horror section, then you guys will also be able to get merch. So Roth's fans own the Roth's fan owned horror company, the horror section, has partnered with lifestyle brand Blackcraft Cult to produce exclusive merch tied to its film slate, starting with Jimmy Stiggy's, which is a horror movie that's going to be released from the company. Custom merch will accompany future releases like Dream Eater on October 24th, Ice Cream Man on in 2026, and Don't Go in That House, Bitch, a Roth Snoop Dogg collaboration announced at TIFF recently. Products will be sold online and in Blackcraft stores, LA and Salem, LA and Salem, whatever the fuck that is, Salem. With the brand also hosting immersive screenings and fan experiences to deepen engagement. I do think this is good for the company that he has started and the venture that he's doing, because it's going to not only bring notoriety to a lot of the projects that he's working on, with having a brand so known for like having Blackcraft stuff and being the kind of following that they have. This will bring fans to new horror films and stuff like that. So I think it's great, and I think it's really interesting in what projects he's working on. I'm very much looking forward to the Don't Go in That House, Bitch from Eli Roth and Snoop Dogg. I'm very curious to see where that project goes and how that project turns out. But that being said, let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think this is a good choice for them to do merch with them, or do you think they should have waited to see how these projects are doing on their own and then move forward from there? Let me know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and move on to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic is something that we mentioned prior in the show, which I should have thought about, but oh well, we're gonna do it anyways. It looks like the Super Mario's 2 has officially had a name in Super Mario Galaxy movie, and it's going to be coming out on April 2026. I thought I had the YouTube video up. I guess not. Oh, we got ads. No, I thought I got rid of the ads. Anyways, we're gonna let this ad play real quick on mute in the background, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Anyways, uh, hold on, wait, I can't read this until this starts. Damn it, skip it. All right, there we go. I'm gonna keep it on mute because YouTube, again, a bit of a bitch. Universal and Illumination reveals that its sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie will be titled Super Mario Galaxy Movie, hitting theaters on April 3rd, 2026. The film draws from Nintendo's 2007 Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, promising cosmic adventures and expanding world building to celebrate the Mario's 40th anniversary. Following the original's 1.36 billion box office success, the sequel aims to build on its legacy as one of the highest grossing animated films of all time. And I think this is awesome. What a great announcement. What a great little trailer here. Hopefully, YouTube don't make me take it down. If YouTube does make me take it down, then you're going to be seeing me talk randomly like I am right now, and I'll just say go ahead and watch it for yourself. But I thought the trailer announcement was awesome. It looks like a lot of fun, and I think this movie is going to be absolutely phenomenal because the first movie was absolutely phenomenal and kind of spoiled the next story. But oh well, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next movie news topic of the day. And our next movie news topic is regarding Paramount-Skydance explores full acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery amid industry shakeup. Let's go ahead and take a look here, which I mean, there's not really much to see here. I don't know why I bring these up, but I just think it's nice to have a little visual background. I should probably figure that out instead. Anyways, following the $8.4 billion merger with Skydance, Paramount is reportedly assessing a bid to acquire all of Warner Brothers Discovery, not just for its studio's assets. Oracle co-founder Larry Ellis, which I'll explain who that is later, is said to be supporting the bid financially, with son David Ellis leading the charge through Skydance Media. While the deal may be while the deal may pass FCC hurdles, it could face scrutiny from the Justice Department due to its horizontal narrative as it merges two legendary studios under one owner. So, that being said, uh, who is Larry Ellis? Larry Ellis is the co founder of Oracle and is the one person who is constantly moving back and forward to be the richest man in the world with uh, Elon Musk. So it's either Elon Musk or him for the richest person in the world. And Larry Ellis's net worth is over $300 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go ahead and take a look here what his net worth is. I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. So this is Larry Ellis. This is David Ellison's father, and his net worth is $3.87.6 billion. So him and Elon Musk are become the richest men in the world back and forward. I think he recently passed Elon. I think Elon passed him again. But that being said, this is who is going to be backing Skydance. And this is why a small company or a small company like Skydance is able to purchase Paramount and possibly purchase Warner Brothers. They have the richest man, one of the richest men in the world, backing them financially. So it's probably going to end up happening if that's what is allowed from the FCC. The problem is there's monopoly issues. It was hard for Disney to acquire Fox, but they got past that. It was even a difficult process for Skydance to purchase Paramount, but they got past that. But to have two major studios like Paramount and Warner Brothers merge into one under Skydance might be a problem, but they might be able to find a hurdle their way through that. But that question is what's going to happen to things like James Gunn's job and all the things like that. And I do think that those will be affected. How they'll be affected remains to be seen. I'm sure there'll be articles coming out about that. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that and look at how that's going to pan out in the future. But I actually think this is not very good news. And the reason I don't think this is good news is because if Skydance Paramount merges with Warner Brothers, that means that there's less competition, and competition always brings creativity. Competition always brings more benefits for viewers, in my opinion. And also, the other downside is this means we'll probably get less projects. Let me explain why. So if you pay attention to Disney's merger with 20th Century Fox, um, a lot of the projects that have been coming out from Fox are not as prevalent and not as focused on as the projects have been for Disney, because Disney wants to focus on their franchise, their IP. And while yes, Fox is a subsidiary, or not Fox, but 20th Century is a subsidiary of them, they have kind of not been focusing on their own aspects because Disney wants to focus on what they're doing with their franchise and stuff like that. So it makes it makes less projects come out, and it has it less focus on what they want to develop. They're mostly focusing on franchise stuff like Predator Badlands and stuff like that, and Alien Earth, which are entertaining and stuff like that. But we're going to be getting less projects from 20th Century Fox in general, and we have been getting less projects from them. So the same thing will happen if Paramount and Warner Brothers merge, unless they find a way to have them both function on their own as own independent studios, but under one banner, which I'm not sure will happen. We'll have to wait and see. This also going to be a lot of layoffs for people doing multiple jobs and stuff like that. So it's going to be a very interesting thing that happens if this merger is something that ends up happening, and if Discovery is even interested in selling at that point. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But let me know what you guys think. Is this exciting news for you? Would you like to see these companies merge, or are you like me on the edge and you don't really want to see it? Let me know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and move on to our last movie news topic of the day. And our last movie news topic is about Josh Gad says Spaceballs 2 is worthy of Rick Moranis' return to acting, which is really, really fun to see because I love Rick Moranis. If you don't know who that is, that's this gentleman here on the left. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids fame. The first Spaceballs, he was hilarious. Now he stepped away from acting because his wife sadly passed away, and he wanted to raise his children, so he stepped away from acting for many, many years, and he's now going to be returning to the big screen in Spaceballs 2, which is exciting to hear. But let me go ahead and read you guys a little bit of a breakdown from this article. Nearly 30 years after stepping away from acting, Moranis is expected to reprise his iconic role in Spaceballs 2, with Josh Gad teasing the project's emotional significance and legacy appeal. Brooks, which is Mel Brooks, is producing and returning as Yogurt alongside Bill Pullman and new cast members including Kiki Palmer and Lewis Pullman. Lewis Pullman's Bill Pullman's son, and he was just recently Sentry in the Thunderbolts movie. Um, Josh Gad co-wrote the script and will star in the sequel as well. Directed by Josh Greenbaum. I don't know who that is. We'll have to look him up right now. The film will begin development for Amazon MGM Studios, with Gad calling the collaboration with Brooks the highlight of his career. And I do think this is phenomenal news because I've missed Rick Moranis. I think we need more voices like him in the industry. We need more faces like him in the industry. Now, I don't know him on the personal level, but just from, you know, we've lost big names like Robin Williams and stuff like that, and I think people like millennials like myself, growing up with these people, it's nice to see them return, and nice to see him return, and to see what he's going to do and bring his comedy chops. I think we need more comedy in the world, and it's going to be very awesome to see what's going to happen with Spaceballs 2, and I'm very excited to see it. Now, as far as the director, Josh Greenbaum, let's go ahead and take a look at his IMDb so we see what he has worked on in the past. And his directing credits include, let me get rid of writing and producing. Uh, I have never, I seen Strays. Strays was funny. I haven't really seen a lot of his projects. So if you guys have seen some of his work, let me know what you guys think. The only one that I've seen is Strays, and Strays was pretty funny. So hopefully he can bring some good aspects. But I think the big players here are Josh Gad, Mel Brooks, and Rick Moranis, which I'm sure they'll be ad libbing and bringing their own comedy to the screen. So I'm excited to see Spaceballs 2, and I very much look forward to it. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see Rick Moranis return to acting in Spaceballs 2, and are you excited to see what Josh Gad has to bring to that franchise? Well, now it's going to be a franchise now that we're getting a sequel. Let's go ahead and Well, my fault. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always, guys, remember, stay true, be odd.